Hi friends, welcome back with new amazing video from Top Movies Recap. Today I'm going to recap a 1998 horror and sci-fi film titled The Faculty. Spoiler warning, watch out and take care. A high school playground is featured at the start of the video, where a football coach can be seen. Who was it that was yelling at his guys for their poor performance? From there, he sends them all in a rage. Following that, he notices an object on the floor. As he bends down to pick up that object, someone appears. Here's where the action begins. Later, the same school's staff room is seen, the location of the teachers' gathering. Here, all of the teachers were debating a matter. As soon as the meeting is finished, they all leave. A teacher is conversing with the principal at the same time. Principal, on the other hand, reminds her that she has left the keys inside, so she goes inside to retrieve her keys. When she is about to leave after picking up the keys, the football coach arrives. He starts misbehaving with the principal and blocks her path. The football coach then asks the principal for a pencil. She presents him with a pencil. The coach then stabs principal's hand with the same pencil. Principal then flees, slamming the keys in his face as he does so. Meanwhile, she is aware that she has been imprisoned by that coach, and that the same instructor stood at the door with whom principal had previously conversed. That teacher tells principal, first and foremost, you must provide the door keys. Principal promptly brings the keys and opens the door, and principal appears outside right away. She then shuts the door behind her and secures the bus. No one knows what happened to that teacher in the meanwhile. With a pair of scissors, she murders the principal. Following that, the story's central character, Casey, appears. Other Casey buddies are depicted as well. Delilah is the name of one of his female pals. Casey may have developed feelings for Delilah in every case, though Casey was the loser. Following that, a girl named Maribeth appears, who was this school and city's newcomer. Also, there is a young man named Zeke who used to deal the drug while pouring it in a pen. Later, the scene shifts to the staff room, where all of the teachers are conversing with one another. A football coach can also be seen consuming a large amount of water. Then the same instructor who was responsible for the principal's death shows up. She also smiles as she looks at the football coach. It showed that they were working together. Following that, Casey appears, who discovers an unusual insect in the playground, and Casey brings the insect to his teacher in the lab. That insect, however, was no longer alive. Inadvertently, water is poured on that insect, and that insect has been resurrected. That science teacher observes it and throws it into the ocean. That insect is now swimming in the water. That teacher touches it after seeing it. As a result, the insect is split into two pieces. Both portions of the insects are now swimming. When he tries to touch it again, the science teacher bites his finger. Following that, one of Delilah's buddies is seen taking a bath. Following this, his teacher appears out of nowhere, behaving as if he were insane. And she warns him, a great deal of trouble is coming our way. Delilah's friend believes that this teacher has a mental illness. As a result, he embraces that teacher in order to calm her down. Meanwhile, he has a lot of the teacher's hair in his hands. He is afraid as a result of seeing it, and that teacher meets her demise right away. Delilah's buddies and Casey can be viewed here, who is telling another instructor about that teacher's story. The teacher informs them that the teacher had cancer. She may have died for this reason. When Casey is going to the office where he meets Delilah, he discovers that the football coach is waiting, standing in the playground for a long time, and they begin to converse with one another. They were now wondering that strange things were happening in the school. Coming into the workplace, Casey notices this. There's someone approaching. After that, they both go into a cabinet to hide. The principal's murdering teacher and the football coach were both consuming excessive amounts of water. A school nurse appears out of nowhere, and she is apprehended by the football coach. He also spits the same insects out of his mouth which had been discovered in the lab, and he drops one of the flies into the nurse's ear, and Delilah, who was present at the time, was terrified. She screams at this point. When the football coach hears her yelling, he rushes over and then he opens the cupboard door. Casey and Delilah manage to flee while rescuing themselves in some way. When they are running, principal arrives. Who was the one who had died? She, like the rest of us, was infected. They both flee in terror at the same time. As a result of this occurrence, Casey has summoned the police officers. When police officers arrive at school, however, they find everything to be normal. Principal is escorting one of the police officers to her office at the same moment. When they step outdoors, Casey remarks that policeman looks mysterious. It's said that police officer has also been affected by that insect. Casey and his parents then return to their home. Casey's parents chastise him severely when he returns home, because his parents have been slandered as a result of his error. They'd also take his phone and confine him to a room. Casey's parents were probably thinking now that he had developed a drug addiction. Then he realizes there was nothing there. Casey arrives at school the next day, and he runs into Delilah as she enters the school. And he talks about the same thing despite the fact that the school staff room is visible. While sitting there, all of the teachers drank a lot of water, because the bug extraterrestrial that had been assimilated into their bodies derived its powers from the water. Following that, it is revealed that Zeke was the drug dealer, and his customers were going there to get drugs from him. Meanwhile, Zeke's teacher approaches him and begins to abuse him. She also says a lot of hurtful things to him. Zeke is fascinated by the teacher's unusual behavior. After that, Casey and Delilah's female companion are shown sitting in a library discussing the same topic. After that, Casey enters the science lab and they arrive at the exact location where the insect had initially resurrected. However, they are unable to locate the bug. When Zeke and Maribeth arrived, they were still talking about it. Following that, their science teacher enters the laboratory and they're all asking their teacher about that insect. The teacher, on the other hand, does not respond to them. Now that Zeke had devalued it, he began to flee the scene. The teacher then intervenes and he attacks everyone in the room. Then Zeke launches an attack on his teacher. Because of his attack, the teacher's fingers have been severed. Then the fingers on the floor start to move, crawls like any other insect. And from his fingers, root-like filaments began to emerge. When that teacher tries to put a stop to Zeke, he injects his drug into his pupil. After being injected with that syringe, that teacher passed away. They eventually gather in Zeke's residence. They observe Zeke's drug-making lab after they arrive. He places the alien insect in the rat cage at the same time. He then washes it down with water. The insect is then absorbed into the rat's body. It then begins to infect its host's body. Now everyone is aware of the fact that an alien insect can be eradicated with the application of medicine. Zeke tells his pal, "We're all going to have to take drugs here. It's possible that any of us could be infected by that extraterrestrial insect. Except for Delilah, everyone is now taking the medicine." Delilah then flees. It has now been revealed to all that the alien insect has also infested Delilah. Now Casey promises everyone that everything will be fine if we destroy the alien queen. They'd all arrived at the school to assassinate Principal. They also ask Principal to take the medication. When Principal refuses to take the medicine, Zeke pulls out his revolver and fires at him. They're all convinced now that they killed the incorrect individual. Principal, on the other hand, it's awakened out of nowhere and changed into her true self. And Casey and his pals believe she's the queen alien. Everything will be fine at school now. A football coach and his players may be seen on the opposite side after getting wet in the rain, who is gaining power, and Delilah's friend was there to witness it. After observing it, he informs others of the situation. All of them, however, insist that he take the medicine before entering. Delilah's companion, on the other hand, drops the drug. Now it refers to the fact that he has also been infected by those aliens. Casey, Zeke, and their friends were now extremely concerned because they were unable to obtain medications due to a scarcity. Then Zeke informs his friends that he has a large amount of drugs in his car. Zeke and Casey then proceed to the car to take the drugs. Meanwhile, they are being attacked by a football coach and his infected team. Casey takes refuge on a bus, but Delilah is also on board. After being rescued, Casey also flees the scene. On the other hand, Zeke didn't find the cocaine in his automobile. He notices his teacher when he closes the trunk of his automobile. Who is it that is attacking him? At the same time, his car is involved in an accident. He also notices that his teacher's chopped head is moving. It is then linked to the teacher's body once more. Zeke flees when he sees it. On the other hand, Maribeth and her buddy are visible, and Maribeth adopts her true appearance here. It is revealed here that Maribeth is the true alien queen. Casey and Delilah's friend are the targets of her wrath. Delilah's friend is dragged into the pool by her. Casey and Delilah's pal, on the other hand, manage to get away in some way. Maribeth transforms into her true self and begins looking for them. Zeke is also present, but Zeke is stopped by Delilah's pal on his way to Maribeth. However, Delilah's companion had also become infected after falling into the pool, and now Zeke had become imprisoned between them. Then Casey comes up behind him to save him. However, Maribeth renders Zeke unconscious till then. She's starting to pursue Casey now. However, he manages to confine her in a door in some way. In one method, he assaults her with a drum-filled pen. As a result, the alien queen Maribeth dies in the same area. At the conclusion of the film, everything appears to be back to normal, and Casey emerges as the champion in front of all, while Delilah begins to develop feelings for him. We hope you enjoyed our video from today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to receive notifications of new and interesting videos.